Now, I'm a guy, and if anyone should elaborate on misogyny, sexism, and prejudice against women, it should be the oppressed themselves, which are the targets of these hateful rhetorics. Because obviously, women can give us the full picture of how it feels to be targeted by these hateful rhetorics, hateful comments, hateful mindsets. And I feel like one really nasty situation which really screams unapologetic misogyny would be the Bupo situation, in which basically Bupo states that women should not be playing any type of competitive game if they're on their periods.
Time of the month where you should not be playing competitive games as a woman, in my opinion. This is my experience. I've lived with one a while. She played a lot of League Ranked. It was just like, it was really obvious when she was just getting super irritated at every little thing. And that's not trying to be sexist or anything, it's just the way it...
Oh honey, but it is sexist. So just because you lived with a woman who had these very specific outbursts when playing League of Legends somehow makes it objective? And I've seen this time and time again with men. Whenever they say anything misogynistic or sexist, they always come up with the excuse, but oh, my girlfriend approves of what I say. Or oh, my friends, which are girls, approve of what I say. That girl over there is so sensitive that she must be on her period. Right, guys? And it's honestly just so baffling because how can you guys be so insensitive? Sure, everyone does get emotional when they're developing. However, does that always mean when one is upset, they're always on their period? I don't think so. I've also seen a lot of male MLBB content creators who just knowingly and willingly allow misogyny and sexism. Now, obviously, I'm not gonna name names. If you know who they are, you know who they are. And if they end up coming across this video, you know who you are. The reason why a lot of people, specifically women, try to tell these said content creators who spew these hateful rhetorics or allow misogynistic and sexist views because we're so sensitive or we're being snowflakes. Hate against women in a male-dominated field has always been at an all-time high. And I really honestly feel like until a male content creator speaks about this, not including me obviously, nobody's gonna wake up and end up listening to a woman. People would much rather listen to these male content creators instead. And if they hear these certain words either in favor or against women, they will be inclined to think the same. I also remember someone came in my DMs the other day and said, "You aren't bad for a girl." And I responded by, "And what is that supposed to mean?" For all the geniuses who think that they were just genuinely trying to compliment me, oh, how wrong you are. This is a very backhanded compliment. You aren't bad for a girl. They're basically implying that women cannot be good at video games. And in this case specifically, MLBB. I've always said this time and time again. Firstly, women are good at video games, if not better than men. Second of all, they definitely wouldn't have come to my DMs if it was blatantly obvious I was a guy. The only reason they messaged me that is because I was a girl. They probably felt some kind of intuition towards me, to the point where they felt like they had to compliment me. And third of all, why does gender even have to be involved? Like, what? Can't you just say, oh, you're good at the game and just move on? Why do we even have to involve gender? Now, I definitely don't know if this person knew, but this is basically insulting. I wouldn't necessarily say to me, but to women in general. You can't just think, oh, it's very uncommon for women to be good at video games, when that is just hateful stereotype. Because there are a lot of women who are really good at video games. And I really do feel like until we create a more safe and secure place for women to be able to express themselves however they feel, then things are not going to change. And I feel like the first big step when it comes to oppression for women in video games is for said male content creators to retract these misogynistic and sexist views. Because to keep in mind that although a lot of male content creators or just male players in general have this searing hatred, misogyny, prejudice against women for a multitude of reasons, do keep in mind that women are part of the player base. So if somehow, say we were to deny women access to video games, then can you imagine how dead a lobby would be or a server would be? Some people say they want to be the face of a certain game or they want to be a face of a certain region. But what you don't understand is that if you're the face of something or anything literally, and you do not make it very clear that misogyny, sexism, and prejudice are not welcome, then you are still spreading this hateful rhetoric. That's why I really hate when some people say they want to be the face of something. They're involved in sexist, misogynistic, racist acts even. How can you be the face of something when you're allowing these negative actions to exist, to be normalized? And I really do believe a huge reason of why these hateful rhetorics against women do exist in video games is because they're spewing obscene things online. And they probably think that, oh, since I'm saying it online, there's like no repercussion to what I'm saying. But think about it, even if there was no repercussion to what you were saying, it's always good to put yourself in other people's shoes. How would you feel if you were denied access to video games because of your gender? How would you feel if you were denied access to certain jobs because of your gender? How would you feel if because of your gender, you're automatically going to be prejudiced against? Now, I do feel like what I'm about to say is kind of crazy, but I do feel like people online are very similar to drunk people. And now, hear me out. Not that it comes from experience, but whenever you're drunk, you're obviously more inclined to actually say what you think. And you just say stuff without really thinking about it or thinking of the repercussions or consequences. In the same sense, people online don't think about the repercussions or consequences because it's online. And so, they're inclined to say what they think. Oh, but it's not that deep. Okay, come the time your girlfriend gets robbed of opportunities because she's female. Come the time your friends get prejudiced against because they're female. Come the time one of your relatives get prejudiced against because they're female. Is it not that deep anymore? Because it's not happening to you or anyone around you does not mean it's not a serious issue and it's something that is not happening. If you guys want another one of my personal experience of these things happening to me, let's take my voice for example. I've had a lot of people comment that my voice sounds AI. And I mean, point the proverbial gun all you want because who am I to change your mind? But the fact is that some people only say this out of spite because they think I'm a girl. And whenever they think a male content creator is using an AI voice, I know as hell you guys don't be in their comment section asking if it's AI, when in some cases it's very obvious that yes, it's an AI voice. And the fact that some people can't even tell AI from real, it's very concerning. But I digress. Without you guys realizing, when you're asking me is my voice AI, it's most of the time coming from a misogynistic or sexist view. Because when male content creators are very obviously using AI, y'all don't be in their comment sections like... And it's not like I take offense to people asking if my voice is AI. I just want you guys to realize if you're asking this question to very specific people and not quite literally to everyone who uses AI, then yes, you probably have the mindset of a misogynist or a sexist. For the people who ask me that, I will give you the benefit of the doubt because you're probably just curious. However, it's just a point that I want to state. I do know a lot of MLBB content creators who have said some sexist, misogynistic, racist, or as the whole problematic things, but I'm not going to include that in this video because I don't want people jumping my throat. But yeah, I do feel like people will be able to realize my point when it's their favorite content creator doing these said actions. Otherwise, at this point, they might just think I'm spewing nonsense, try to disapprove of what I'm saying. For the people who constantly got comments like that on a daily, I just want you to know that it's not your fault. You are not just competing with the narrative of the game, you're also competing with the people with these negative mindsets. For the people who try to break out of stereotypes and gets called out for it, keep doing what you're doing, sis. Like, don't ever let anyone make you feel bad about anything because you're a woman, or try to undermine how hard you've worked for said thing. Just like with everything else, if you practice, you will see results. And then that's why when I hear men saying women can't be good at video games, it's very incoherent. It quite literally does not make any sense in an argument, or as a standpoint even. Keep going, queens.